Well, hello, everybody, and welcome back to Limitless Conversations. My name is DJ, and I'm the online worship director for Mosaic Church. And today I am joined by the Johnsons. Woo! Give it up. Will you guys introduce yourselves to our Mosaic family?
Sure. I am Cindy Johnson.
And I'm Dave Johnson.
And how long have you been a part of Mosaic?
We have been a part of Mosaic since the drive-in worship started last summer. I had gone on medical leave from pastoring, and we were looking for a church to connect with and just really resonate and connect with the mission of Mosaic. And the drive-in worship was like perfect timing for us to be able to connect. And we absolutely love it and are so thankful to be connected with all of you at Mosaic.
Yep, I could say the same thing. It was perfect timing for us. And who would have known that we could like honk our horns for Jesus? You know, that was
right.
that was kind of awesome too. So
He accepts worship in all forms, right?
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I am really excited because you guys are starting the 5 love languages class. What day is that starting again? Can you remind me?
Sure. It's on Monday, February 15th at 7 p.m. via Zoom.
And for those of you watching, if you want to sign up for the class, you can go to www.wearemosaic.org, click the Connect tab and go to discipleship classes, and you'll be able to sign up there. Can you guys tell me why you wanted to start a 5 love languages class with our Mosaic family?
Well, we first found out about the 5 love languages many years ago, and it had such a dramatic impact on us when we discovered that we were not speaking each other's love languages at all. And so
I was trying to speak my love language that I enjoyed receiving. And I thought Cindy was the same, and which was not, was not.
It wasn't effective.
No, it wasn't.
So Dave is all about words of affirmation, and I love constructive criticism. Tell me what to do better. Next. And so I'm like, I don't need words of affirmation. Just tell me how to grow and do better. And so I thought, if I didn't need words of affirmation, then why should he need words of affirmation, right?
Yeah.
And then I was all about acts of service, but that's not Dave's love language. And so he didn't understand a need to pour that into me. And we did the Bible study, 5 love languages, right when it first came out, with another couple who are dear friends of ours. And we were just like blown away how ineffective the things we were doing were in our marriage.
I was telling Cindy, well, you're doing such a good job at that. And she's like, oh, thanks.
I don't care. I don't care. Like, if no one ever tells me I do a good job, I'm fine.
And I'm like, okay, tell me now. So.
And asking for words of affirmation is a lot different than just receiving naturally words of affirmation.
Yes.
And so that's been many years ago. And we really thought that we have a passion for marriage ministry. We've been through a lot of very challenging and difficult things in our marriage. And we know that having that solid foundation of speaking one another's love languages, along with having strong communication and conflict resolution skills, are very critical when you put that together with a foundation of faith. And so that is why, that's our why.
So the point of the class is to learn each other so that you're able to grow together, right? You perform or have a better connection with each other when you learn your wants and needs in terms of your languages, right?
Yes. And it's all about just communicating more efficiently with each other, learning how to do that, and not having those, trying to flatten down those stumbling blocks, that every marriage has with communication. I don't know about any other guys out there, but communication did not come naturally to me. And this right here just opened up a whole new door to like how to better communicate with my wife.
Because when we're communicating through our love languages, then we're investing in the other person as well as
Yeah.
our marriage. And so we do the same, with children. And it's interesting because I shared words of affirmation all the time with our children or the people that I supervised in my work or others. But I thought in our marriage, like, well, if I don't need words of affirmation, why do I need then to share them with my husband, which totally depleted his love bank. I think it's called love tank in the study, but just totally depleted. And so we weren't doing things to really invest in each other in a way that was most meaningful to the other person. And it really, it really is important to know the other person. We all bring different gifts and personalities and characteristics and passions. And we start to understand that, in marriage, but the love languages are just another dynamic that is really, I've seen it be a tremendous turning point. We've seen it when our marriage coaching of couples who are either in crisis or they're wanting to enrich their marriage, understanding the love languages, and then being intentional. Don't you think that's
Yes,
the key?
I think that's the most important part. Yes.
Yeah.
That's a good one. So we are in a Limitless series, but we're going to continue Limitless Conversations because we find that they're very important for our congregation members to see people who are also congregation members living out the things that we're teaching. So what does it mean for you guys, or what are the keys to a limitless marriage?
Well, first and foremost, it's really our faith.
Mm,
It's absolutely our faith and our, living out our relationship with Jesus Christ with one another first and in our marriage. So then we can effectively do that in our family and in our community, in our church, wherever,
Yeah.
wherever we go, wherever we go.
yeah.
Yeah, to tell you the truth, there was a point in our marriage that we wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for God and for really leaning into Him and trusting in what He has for our life and for our marriage.
Yes, absolutely. And through a lot of prayer and hard work. I mean, marriage is hard work. And I think when we go into marriage, you're just all stars in the eyes that you found someone that you fell in love with, and the wedding and all the fun and
you're
the
going to have
honeymoon.
disagreements with your wife or your husband, and that's fine. But how you move through those disagreements, that's what makes the difference.
Right.
Yes. And so being able to just really move through things, like Dave said, in a way that is honoring to God and strengthens our marriage. So we have, found ways to invest in our marriage in a multitude of ways. And the love languages is one, through marriage ministry that we're connected with Encompass Connection Center and marriage coaching, and just looking at ways to invest in our marriage, because the enemy wants to destroy marriage.
Yeah.
The enemy absolutely wants to destroy God's gift of marriage.
And he wants to put limits on our marriage.
Yes.
I mean, we're talking about limitless. The devil wants to put limits on our marriage and say, well, this is as good as it's going to get. Well, you might as well just quit now. You might as well, sign the papers and just end it now because this is as good as it gets. But it's not. God has so much more planned for our marriage, and He wants to have a limitless marriage.
Yeah.
And really then to invest in others. I mean, that's what we want to be our legacy, is that our marriage was something that could draw others closer to Christ.
Yeah.
That's huge, right? That you guys have been through all of that and come out on the other side with God, of course. And now you're using all that He's given you to encourage and grow other people. That's pretty awesome.
Oh yeah.
That's all God.
We couldn't have done it by ourselves.
No.
There's no way.
And our, a community of people around us who are people of faith, who are praying and encouraging and supporting through a multitude of things, whether I mean, we were dealing with near death for me with a health issue, an addiction issue that came out for Dave, an adopted child who became a sociopath and tried to harm us. I mean, we had a multitude of things, you know, my sister being diagnosed with terminal cancer. It just kept pouring on and pouring on. And it would have been really easy to walk away. By human standards, not only should our marriage be shattered, but our family as well. And, you know, that is not the plan God had. And it was hard work. It was painful work. And it is the most beautiful work that we could have ever done at the same time.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask, what are some examples of being limitless in your specific marriage? But I think you kind of answered it already.
I think, yeah. Yeah.
Well, we're just excited about how the 5 love languages is able to invest in each other's marriage by taking this course, and how it really just opens up a whole new door for how to communicate more efficiently with your spouse. And
how to invest in each other. And here's the thing, it applies to every relationship that you have in your life. So there's the 5 love languages are so helpful with your children. You know, when in parenting, every child is different, and you think, oh, I have to parent this child this way, this child this way. Well, no, you just need to pour into their love language in the way that speaks most closely to their heart, because God's wired each of us differently.
Yeah.
And that's what we need to honor and understand and invest in.
Yeah. I was even thinking it could work in work teams as well, because to understand each other's languages, be outside of this is how this person works and this is how this person does their processes the best way, but actually learning how they receive affirmation, how they receive love, how that can be important to building and growing a work relationship as well.
Absolutely. Every relationship.
Yeah, that's so cool. Thank you guys so much for joining me this morning, early morning on this Saturday. I really appreciate you. Is there anything else that you want to say to our Mosaic family before we close?
We just hope that everyone who wants to invest in their marriage, whether you have been married 50 years or 5 weeks, it doesn't matter where you are, whether you feel like you're in a place of crisis or you're in a place of celebration, that we would just love for everyone to join us for the 5 love languages beginning February 15th at 7 on Zoom.
Amen. And I'll go ahead and put that link in the description box above or below. If you're watching on YouTube, you guys can just click on that link and sign up. If you're watching this a couple of days late, don't worry. The Johnsons are gracious and they say you can just jump on in, but go ahead and sign up for that class. You had one more thing to say, Dave?
Just absolutely. We just want you to join, and we will be glad to start a second class if the interest continues.
We're really looking forward to it.
Amen. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me. I really appreciate
you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.